Imagine that you live a very simple life, steady job, steady income and one big dream you slowly get tired of because of the lack of recognition. At 25 you decided to leave it all together and just forget about it. Years kinda drift away, your life slips through your fingers and suddenly you are 10 years older. At 35 you suffer a sudden internal major bleeding, leading you to the hospital where the doctors are telling you with a straight face that you will probably not going to survive. You pray to God and promise yourself that if you do somehow miraculously survive, you will come back to the dream you gave up on 10 years ago. You do somehow miraculously survive, and as promised, you leave your steady job at the post office and come back to the dream of becoming a writer. 15 years later, you reach the international fame. This is a story of Charles Bukowski, the writer who famously said not to try. Wait, didn't you just tell that he, tried for over 15 years? I mean, yeah, but let me explain. If you don't have a lot of time, then you could sum up this writer with... How do you want me to... Fine. If you ever heard about Charles Bukowski, you probably heard about his directness toward the life and the whole world, in thinking and the style of his prose. You probably heard about his relationship with alcohol, he often referred to as a secondary lifestyle. I mean, it's hard to forget a man saying that when you drank, the whole world was still out there, but for the moment it didn't have you by the throat. You probably heard about the series of his love affairs and one-night stands, many of which later on become inspiration for his books and poems. And finally you heard about his grave, small little square tombstone at Green Hills Memorial Park in Rancho Palos Verdes, with a single line that says, "Don't try." What kind of message is even that? Surely it can't mean what we all think it means. There has to be some hidden message that makes sense only if you understand it. Right? Bukowski explained the phrase in 1963's letter to John William Corrington. Somebody at one of those places asked me, "What do you do? How do you write, create?" "You don't," I told them. "You don't try. That's very important. Not to try. Either for Cadillacs, creation, or immortality. You wait. And if nothing happens, you wait some more. Like a bug high on the wall. You wait for it to come to you. When it gets close enough, you reach out, slap out, and kill it. Or, if you like its looks, you make a pet out of it." Bukowski's "don't try" never meant not to try at all. It never meant giving up on something you obviously can't stop thinking about, because he clearly experienced what it's like to give up on something and don't try for 10 years until near-death experience got his priorities straight again. It never meant to give up on who you truly are, quite opposite. It was like a quiet manifesto he made for himself, where the rest of the sentence is actually silent, because he didn't need to hear it, he just knew it. He just knew that sentence. Don't try to be someone you're not. Don't try to do the things for the wrong reasons. He wholeheartedly believed that life is something that comes to you, if it's the right kind of life. You can't manufacture it, and as in creative pursuits, you can either crush the bug and allow the raw, unpolished version of things play out, or you wait, making the pet out of the bug, allowing a life and fiction to slowly grow. In some way, philosophy of don't try reminds the philosophy of destiny you have to patiently wait for, and trying to force the wrong kind of destiny is exactly what Bukowski is trying to warn people from.
She says, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I'm gonna become a writer." She says, "Oh, you poor, poor man." Oh. Her and her husband thought I was crazy, and so in the morning, there would be radishes on the front porch, potatoes, tomatoes. They put them in at my door. They thought I was crazy. I couldn't take care of myself.
When the right destiny comes, you know it. Because he didn't need to try to write, he didn't need to try to publish 60 books throughout his career and over 1,000 poems. He just did, because he couldn't not do it, because after seeing his life as it was, as a rough childhood of an immigrant child, struggling with acne, and being abused by his father, who he regarded as a great literary teacher, who taught him the meaning of pain without a reason. As a soul-sucking experience of 9-to-5 jobs, working at a factory or the post office, as a series of tragic events, among which is the passing of his lover Jane Cooney Baker due to alcohol-related illness, and even more tragic events he dealt with by consuming obscene amount of alcohol, and finally as a series of live poetry reading sessions, ending up with hitting discussions with audiences and even more series of writing sessions he would commit to, without worrying about the money only after he was 49. when John Martin from Black Sparrow Press offered him $100 a month to just write. Bukowski had no real choice but to write. That was his destiny, and as it goes with destiny, you don't have to try to get it, it's already yours. And the following sentence cannot be written or said because everyone will have a different sentence, so don't try. But if you're going to try, go all the way.